Hello, folks. I am Parikshit Saikia, and welcome to another very exciting session on the 99 Percentile Club. I teach live on the Unacademy platform and have nearly 9 years of teaching experience. And in today's session, I'm going to take up a very interesting question from the chapter Ratio, Proportion, and Variation. In particular, the subtopic is from partnerships. I don't know how many of you have done partnerships, but it's an important topic from the perspective of the CAT examination. Let's get started. On 1st Jan 2020, Rekha invested an amount A to start a business. After some months, Nisha joins her, investing an amount B. Rekha and Nisha divided the entire profit at the end of 2020 in the ratio of 6:5. At some point during 2021, they were joined by Neha, who invested an amount same. At the end of 2021, Rekha, Nisha, and Neha shared the entire profit for that year in the ratio of 4:5:2. At some point during 2022, Nisha left to pursue an MBA. Simultaneously, Radhika joined the company, investing an amount D. At the end of 2022, Rekha, Nisha, Neha, and Radhika shared the entire profit for that year in the ratio of 6:5:12:3. So, learners, I strongly recommend that you pause the video at this stage. Try to solve this brilliant question on partnerships. And once you are done solving, come back, play the video, and look at the solution. And more importantly, compare whether the approach that I follow is the same as what you have done, right? Very important. So pause the video right away. Okay. So I hope you have paused the video, given it a try. So let's do it together now. Okay. So if you recollect the concept of partnerships, right? I mean, moment you read it, there might be a lot of things happening, but just go back to the basics, and that's what you always got to do, the basics. Think about it. Partnerships. What do we talk about in partnerships? And partnerships, if you remember, had just a couple of concepts. So let's talk about the concepts first. Once we are done with the concepts, we will get into the sum. Okay. In partnerships, what is a partnership? Basically, two or more people join together to start a business. And then it's all about how do they share their profit, right? So remember, profit is always shared in the ratio of investments. So I'm just putting a dollar value, rupee value over there, right? Investments into the time period. Into the time period. That's how you divide profit. That's how you share profit. So let's say I invest 10,000 rupees and I invested for the entire year, while someone invested 20,000 rupees, but he invested for only 6 months. What matters? How much money did I invest and how much for what time duration did I invest? The product of the two will get you the ratio of profits, right? Okay. I'm going to apply this very simple funda to solve this entire sum. Okay, let's get started. On 1st Jan 2020, so we are talking about the year 2020, correct? So in 2020, what happened? Rekha invested an amount A to start a business. So you know that there are only three variables in partnership. Money invested, let's call it rupees. What time period did you invest for? Let's call it time. And then you will have the profit. And then you will have the profit, correct? So who are we talking about? We are talking about Rekha. Rekha invested an amount A. What is the amount? We don't know, but let's call it A. After some months, Nisha joined her, investing an amount B. So after some months, Nisha joins her, investing an amount B. Rekha and Nisha divided the entire profit at the end of 2020 in the ratio of 6:5. So this money is being divided in the ratio of 6:5. Now hold on. Look at the time period. That's the only unknown at this point, right? What is the time period? Remember, 1st January 2020, Rekha puts in her money. So can I say that? And then the question talks about what happens at the end of 2020. So think about it. Can I say, and it doesn't say that Rekha has withdrawn the money. So can I say Rekha invested the money for the entire 12 months? Right? What about Nisha? At this stage, I don't know for how much time did Nisha invest her money. So let's keep that blank, right? Let's keep that blank because I don't know it. Chalo. Next, at some point during 2021, they were joined by Neha. So after next year, what happens? Neha also joins. After some time, what happens? Neha also joins. So let's consider the year 2021. Let's write down the same values. Let's write down the same values. Rupees, time period, and then the profit. And then the correct? So what happens? You have a third person who joins. What is the name? At the end, after some time, they were joined by Neha. So the first person, the second lady, let's write down the entire name, was Nisha. The first lady was Rekha. And the third lady who enters the movie, right? Who enters the movie is Neha. Is Neha, right? Okay. So what happens? Neha, they are at some point during 2021, they were joined by Neha, who invested an amount C. So Neha invests an amount C. At the end of 2021, Rekha, Nisha, and Neha shared the entire profit for that year in the ratio of 4:5:2. 4:5:2. Now think about it. It doesn't talk about Rekha and Nisha, the first two ladies. It doesn't tell us anything, but it just tells us how the profits were shared. So we have to assume that, you know what, Rekha and Nisha, the same amounts were invested. I mean, they did not take out their profit. I mean, basically what happened, the same investment amount was there, right? A and B. Remember, Rekha initially put in A, Nisha initially put in B. Question doesn't say that they withdrew their initial investment. So A and B continues as it is. One doubt which students might have is, sir, you know what? You are saying that they are dividing their profit at the end of the first year in the ratio of 6:5. You are correct. Remember, they are dividing their profits, not investments. Investments continue to remain as it is. And also, if you have read it carefully, another thing that you need to observe is there are only three variables. We have put two variables: money invested, profit, the time period. What about Rekha? They were there since 2020. So they were there for the entire period of 12 months of the year. What about Nisha? Nisha was also there from 2020. So she too was there for the entire period of 12 months in the year 2021. What about C? I don't know when did C join. They are saying at some point during 2021, they were joined by Neha. I don't know. So I'll keep that C, the time period for C, blank. Correct? Okay. Next. At some point during 2022, so next we look at the next year, 2022. Again, the three variables, because this chapter just has three variables: money invested, time period, and the profit. And the profit. Nothing more than this, right? At some point during 2022, Nisha left to pursue an MBA, and simultaneously, Radhika joins the company, investing an amount D. So be careful. We have another lady, Radhika, who enters the scene. So amount invested, Rekha, it was A only. Nisha, it was B only. Neha, it was C. And now enters Radhika, who is invested the amount D. They say at some point during 2022, Nisha left to pursue an MBA. So basically, there is a connection between B and D. When B leaves, D joins it. Okay. And for the other human beings, they don't talk about anything. And then they say at the end of the year, Rekha, Nisha, Neha, and Radhika shared the entire profit for that year in the ratio of 6:5:12 is to 6:5:12 Correct? 6:5:12. That's what you have the ratio of profits. Correct? Okay. What about the time period? Remember, A was there since 2020. So for the entire 12 months of 2022, they were there. What about C? C was there for the entire 2022, for the entire year. Remember, C came in last year itself. So C2 was there for 12 months. B and D will come. Remember, when B lives during that year, at that point, D comes. Okay. Now, there are some unknowns. I think there are some unknowns at this stage. Okay. And I think I'm done, done capturing the data of the set. There were a couple long statements for a quant's paper. And remember, there have been times when there are multiple questions in a set. It's like probably an LR set. You know what? One set, and if you're able to solve 3 into 3, 9 marks. If you can't solve, you lose 9 marks straight away. Correct? So whatever the unknowns here, what are the unknowns here? Remember, 2020 time period for Nisha is unknown. 2020 time period for Nisha is unknown. Let's call it pain. In 2021, time period for Neha is unknown. Let's call it Q. In 2022, time period for Nisha is unknown. Let's call it R. And for Radhika 2022, time period is unknown. Let's call it S. And remember, there's a relation between S and R. What is S? S is equal to 12 minus R. If you're following logically, S is equal to 12 minus R. Why? Remember, they say at some point during 2022, Nisha left to pursue an MBA. Simultaneously, Radhika joins the company. So let's say Nisha leaves in January 31st, she leaves. So because she leaves on January 31st, she must have completed 1 month. What about Radhika? She would be there for the remaining part of the year. So remaining 11 months. If Nisha leaves, let's say in February end. So Nisha was invested for 2 months. Immediately, Radhika joins in and she was invested for the remaining part of the year. So Nisha is 12. Radhika is 12 minus 2 because she left in February. It would be 10. Similarly, if Nisha leaves in March, it means Nisha was invested for 3 months. What about Radhika? 12 minus 3 because March is 3 months. 12 minus 3, 9 months. So do you understand that there is a relation between R and S where S is 12 minus R? Clear? I think we have almost everything. What we only don't have is PQRS, ABCD probably, which we need to figure out. I think the variables are ABCD and PQRS. I'll just rub what we have here so that I create some space. Okay, so what do we need to find? What do we need to find? We need to figure out the values A, B, C, D. These 4 values we need to figure out. And what else do we need to figure out? We need to figure out P, Q, R, S. These 8 values we need to figure out in this sum. Okay, so let's start with our calculations. Let's start with our calculations. We'll start with our calculations. Okay. So think about it. You want to frame an equation. Okay. I have so many variables, and how do I solve it? In my mind, I think, you know what? I want to frame an equation which is just one variable. If there is just one variable, I think I'll be able to solve it, right? So think about it. Where do you see one variable? If you look at 2020, right? The problem with 2020 is A into 12 divided by B into P is equal to 6 into 5. Remember, we talked about this. We started with this rather. How do you divide profit? It's in the ratio of the product of investment into the time period. So A into 12, again, I'll rub it. A into 12 divided by B into P is equal to 6 by 5. But the problem is I can't start from here because there are 3 unknowns, A, B, P. So there are 3 unknowns, not the best place to get started with the sum, right? Look for something which do not have 3 variables or probably just 1 variable. Do you locate anything? Probably you can go to 2022. Can you say, I think I can start from here. I'll just put number 1 here so that to indicate that this was my first step. I think I can start from there. You know what? You can say A into 12 divided by B into R. A into 12 divided, again, not the best place because I can't say this also number 1 because there are 3 unknowns at this stage. Yes, A, B, R. A, B, and R. Not the best place again. Where do you get started? I think you can get started from 2021. 2021, you can get started from here. A into 12 divided by B into 12 is equal to 4 by 5. So 12 and 12 cancels out. Can I say A by B is 4:5? A by B is 4:5. In other words, the ratio of A to B is 4:5. This is a ratio. What did I get? I got the ratio of A is to B, which is 4 is to 5. Correct? Awesome. Moment you have A is to B, I think you can determine R as well. Moment you have A and B, you can determine R as well. Let's call this step 2. Let's call this step 2. A by B, yes, you know the value of A by B now, you know the ratio. Can you determine R? Absolutely, from 2022. Let's start. So from equation 2, you see that 2 I put for easy reference. From 2022, A into 12 divided by B into R is equal to 6 by 5. Do you know the value of A and B? Absolutely. A is 4, B is 5. So 4 by 5 into 12 divided by into R is equal to 6 by 5. 5 cancels out. 6 ones are, 6 twos are, or can I say R is equal to 8? R is equal to 8. R is equal to 8. Yes? So can we put that value? R is equal to 8. And if you remember, R is what? Actual value. It's not a ratio any longer. I think I've got the actual value of R, which is 8. Which is 8. Yes? I'm just gonna rub this and create again more space. Create more space. Just gonna rub this part. Create more space. Okay. Okay. I think up till now we have determined 3 variables out of the 8. What else can you determine? What else can you determine? I think moment R is known, S is also known. Why? S is 12 minus R. What is S? S is 12 minus R. Let's call that step 3. Step 3. 12 minus R. So R is 8. So S is 12 minus 8. S is going to be 4. S is going to be 4. S is going to be 4. Correct? Any doubt up till here? I hope not. Fine. Let's continue. Let's continue. What else is unknown? What else is unknown? What else is unknown? I think this just got deleted. This was P, right? This was P. Yeah. I think now we can also determine P. Why? Because AB is known. P is the only unknown. So you don't have to follow the sequence which I am following. At the end, what you need to determine is to determine all the 8 variables. Sequence, immaterial. Not important. But I'm showing you one of the many possibilities that you can follow in the sequence, right? You can follow some other sequence, perfectly fine. Let's call this step 4, right? So A into 12, step 4, equation 4. A into 12 divided by B into P is equal to 6 by 5. Is equal to 6 by 5. How much is A? A is 4 into 12. B is how much? How much is B? B is gonna be, we have already determined, B is 5. 5 into P is equal to 6 by 5. Please do the calculations. 5 and 5 cancels out. 6 ones are, 6 twos are. So basically P is equal to E. P is equal to 8. Remember, these are actual values. So P is equal to 8. Super awesome. Now what do we have? Now I think we have Q left, right? I think we have Q left and C and D left. Q left and C and D left. Okay. Fine. Next, I'm rubbing it again to create some space. It's just about determining the other numbers now. It's just about determining the other numbers now. C and D are remaining. C and D are remaining. I think you can determine the ratio of C and D as well. You can determine the ratio of 3C and D as well now. C and D as well. Let's call this equation 5. So what do you have? C. Okay, probably you'll want to connect C, right? You'll want to connect C with B and C. So equation 5 may, what do I write here? I can put B by C, right? So B into R. B into R. Let's look at 2022. B into R. We already know the value of B. We already know the value of R. B into R divided by C into 12. C into 12 is equal to 5 by 12. 5 by 12. Substitute the value of B. B is 5. Substitute the value of R. R is 8. Divided by C into 12. C into 12 is equal to 5 by 12. 12 cancels out. 5 cancels out. Implies C is equal to 8. C is equal to 8. Yes? Super awesome. I think you've got almost all of it. C is equal to 8. And I think next you can determine D. Next you can determine D. right? Next, you can determine D. Fine. Okay. Let's continue. I'm rubbing it because I don't have too much of space, so I need to rub every time. Okay. Next, let's look at equation 6. You can call C and D here out of, let's say, equation 6. Okay. So C into 12 divided by D into S. D into S. What is the value of S? I think we already got it. S is 4 is equal to 12 by. So how much is C? C is 8. So 8 into 12 divided by D into 4 is equal to 12 by 12. 12 cancels out. 4 ones are, 4 twos are, implies D is equal to 6. Day is equal to 6. So day is equal to 6. Wow, this is awesome. I think we are almost done. Day is 6. The only thing remaining now is Q. The only thing remaining now is Q, right? Let's have Q also. Let's have Q also. Next, let's determine Q as well. Let's determine Q as well. Okay, Q is there in the year 2021. In the year 2021, Q is there. So you can frame an equation which has Q, correct? So I think I will frame the equation out here. B and C I can take from 2021. I'll get Q. So B into 12 divided by C into Q is equal to 5 by, how much is B? B is 5 into 12. How much is C? C, we already got it. C is 8. How much is Q? We don't know Q. Let's keep Q as it is. Yes, this is equal to how much? 5 by 2. 5 by 2. 5 cancels. 2 ones are, 2 fours are, 4 ones are, 4 threes are, implies Q is equal to 3. Implies Q is equal to 3. Awesome. That's it. That was it. I think you've got all the values. Can you put the value of Q out here? Can we put the value of Q out here? Yes, we can. I think we have the answers. Let's mark the answers. Let's mark the answers. For how many months was Nisha a part of the business? Remember, Nisha left in the year 2022. So the first year, 2020. So basically, Nisha, what's the answer for Nisha? Answer number 1 is nothing but P plus 12 plus R. P plus 12 plus R will get me the answer for Nisha. So how much is P? P, remember, these are actual values. P is 8. How much is R? R is also 8. So can I say 20 plus 8, 28 months. 28 months. So Nisha was a part of the business for 28 months. For 28 months. Correct? Okay. That's the answer for the first one. 28 months. Next, if B is rupees 10,000, how much is D minus A? Okay. B is 10,000. So think about it. Think about it. How do you solve this? How do you solve the second one? How do you solve the second one? B is 10,000 rupees. How much is D minus A? So think about it. What we have B is a ratio. What we have for B is a ratio. And as per the ratio, this is for question number 2. You know what? B is, let's say, 5. B is 5 and that's a ratio. So let's call it 5x, 4x, 5x, 8x and 6x. B is 5x and 5x as per the question is equal to 10,000. So can I say x is equal to 2,000? X is equal to 2,000. Therefore, D minus A, how much is D minus A? 6x minus 4x. 6x minus 4x is 2x. Is 2x. Correct? Yes. So how much is 2x? X is 2,000. So 2x is going to be 4,000. And that's your answer for the second one. That's your answer for the second one. 4,000. Next. Approximately in what date did Nisha leave? Nisha left in the year 2022. Okay. R. What is the value of R? R is 8. It's an actual value. 8 means after completion of 8 months. Meaning you have left. You were there for the first 8 months. First 8 months means you were there till August. So you have left on what? You left on September 1, 2020. Someone might have a doubt. Sir, can it also be August 31st? This question actually had options. So had it been, so whatever is there in the option, if August 31st is there, I'm going to take August 31st. If September 1st is there, I'm going to take September 1st. Okay. So options were there and that options only had September 1st. I did not give you the options here, but it was September 1st, August 31st wasn't there. Otherwise, We can say 8 months means close of business on August 31st or probably start of business September 1st. So September 1st was there, and hence the answer is September 1st, 2022. I hope there was a lot of learning here. These are topics, right, which probably students miss to revise before the CAT, just before the CAT. So it's a good learning. Make sure you do partnerships well. I hope you enjoyed the session, right? And till the next time, stay safe and happy learning, folks.